Have you ever been in a situation where you see a guy at a bar or in a class and you think he's really cute, but you don't know how to get his attention and get him to like you? Today, I want to talk about just that. It's actually not too difficult to spark interest in a guy if you have the right tools to connect with people. And more importantly, you can spark interest in a guy without having to play any kind of mind games with him. If you want to be in a happy and healthy relationship, then building genuine attraction is the best way to go. Before you even start talking to him, you're going to want to show him that you're interested, and an easy way to do this is by making eye contact. Eye contact is probably one of the biggest signals of attraction that you can send to a guy. You want to make eye contact with him, then smile and look away. A minute or so later, you want to make eye contact again, but this time, smile and hold eye contact for at least 5 seconds. 5 seconds doesn't sound long right now, but it's a pretty significant chunk of time when your eyes are locked. If you're able to do just that, it's usually enough to get most guys to approach you because you're sending a big, bright sign that you're interested in him. If he doesn't approach you, but he's smiling back and looks interested, don't get discouraged. Go up to him and say hi. Guys really appreciate it when women make the first move because, besides taking some of the pressure off of them to initiate, they also don't have to wonder if you're into them or not. Going up and introducing yourself to a guy is a very clear signal that you're interested in him and you know what you want, and guys are really attracted to that. If you're too shy or nervous at the moment to approach a guy, that's okay too. Make eye contact with multiple guys if you're at a bar or party. Attracting people and dating is partly a numbers game, so not every guy you look at is going to approach. However, the more guys you make eye contact with, the higher your chances are of at least one of them walking up to you and introducing themselves. Next, you want to look for compatibility and have high self-esteem. I mentioned before that guys really like women who know what they want. This ties in with having a high self-esteem. When you know what you want, you know what kind of personality works for you. You know which values align with yours, and you know what sort of humor and interests you can connect with. When you have high self-esteem, you don't worry about saying no to the people who aren't compatible with you, and you're perfectly happy staying single until you find someone who's actually a good match. But all too often, I see people settling. A girl might talk to or even date a guy she's not really interested in because she doesn't want to seem rude, or maybe she doesn't feel like she can do better, so she lets him think she's more interested than she actually is. But this is a waste of time for both parties. Why talk to somebody you're not interested in, and why string them along when they could find somebody who actually likes them? Of course, you don't want to be a jerk, but it's okay to politely end a conversation and go talk to somebody else. Or to tell them that you're not feeling a connection between the two of you, and it would be better to see other people. You don't want to pursue a relationship with someone who doesn't share similar values with you, and whom you're not going to be excited learning more about. Because if you do, then that's just building a foundation on sand. You're going to meet a lot of people who aren't a good fit for you, but that's okay. Most of the people in the world aren't a good fit for you. But as you keep meeting people and talking with them, it'll get easier to find someone who is compatible and who you're looking forward to spending time with and building a relationship. When you have high self-esteem, you don't settle for just anyone who's willing to date you or give you attention. Having a high self-esteem not only makes it easier to say no to people who aren't a good match for you, but it also makes you more attractive to others. We're all attracted to people who are perceived as having a high social status, and you can raise your status with confidence and a sense of self-worth. Let's say you've exchanged numbers. If he doesn't text you immediately, don't freak out. Our minds like making snap judgments and jumping to conclusions, and while that might have been useful to us as hunter-gatherers, it's not always so helpful in the modern day. I've heard a lot of women start to freak out if it's been a day or two and the guy they've just started seeing hasn't texted them. They start to worry, is he ignoring me? Is he talking to other women? Does he not like me? And while there is a chance those things are true, my rule of thumb is to give people the benefit of the doubt until you have evidence to prove otherwise. Therefore, if he hasn't texted you back that day, maybe he was just busy. Maybe he's been working all day or traveling and he's exhausted. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he just didn't see your text. For the first couple months of dating, my husband and I would barely text each other all week until Friday rolled around. We weren't playing any games, we were just sort of living our lives and would reach out to one another when we had a reason to, such as plans for the weekend or maybe sharing an article. Sometimes when I did text him, it would take him a few hours or a full day to respond. Or if we were supposed to meet up somewhere, he was usually late. But I never took it personally, I just figured that that's how he was and I didn't worry over it. Later I learned he has ADHD, and that partly explained the gap in texting and showing up late. It had nothing to do with me, really. It just goes to show that even though you're dating, there's a lot about a guy you may not know yet, which could account for why he doesn't get back to you the second you reach out. Another way to boost the connection between you and a guy is to create fun experiences and positive memories together. You can do this by connecting with him early on and connecting on a deeper level. In Mark Manson's book Models, he gives advice to men on how to pick up women. However, there is one part that I think applies well to both men and women, and that's the subject of polarization. He talks about how the worst thing you can have is a girl who's on the fence about a guy. She isn't really attracted to him, but she doesn't dislike him either. She's just indifferent. He says that when a girl is indifferent about a guy for too long, his chances of actually getting to go out with her essentially disappear. It all ends up being a waste of time because he thinks he still has a chance with her, but she's already decided to move on. I feel that while there are some differences, a very similar principle can be applied to women who want to attract guys. To me, polarizing a guy acts more as a method of filtering. You don't want to waste your time in this ambiguous zone of, is he into me? Or do I even like him? The sooner you can get a sense of who he is as a person, the sooner you can decide whether or not he's someone you'd want to invest your time and energy into. Therefore, you want to connect with him on a deeper level sooner than later. You shouldn't spill your life story and unload all of your baggage onto him, but you should definitely talk to him about subjects that you care a lot about. Talk about politics, talk about social issues, talk about your nerdy obsession with anime or history or knitting. You want to put your true self out there and see how he reacts to it. If he reacts positively, then you know he's someone worth spending more time with because there's a higher chance that you two will be compatible with each other. However, if your values don't align at all, for example, the two of you are on opposite ends of the political spectrum, then there's little to no chance that you'll be able to build a solid relationship, and you should start looking for your next prospective date. Another part of creating positive experiences is having active dates. Dinner and movie dates are cliched, boring, and it can sometimes feel like a job interview. An easy way to create more intrigue is by going on dates that are active and are a new experience for one or both of you. When we are active with other people, like hiking, dancing, touring museums, and trying something for the first time, we tend to develop a stronger sense of connection with the person or people who were with us during that time. Therefore, you can sort of hack your dating by going on an adventure with your guy and develop a feeling of closeness with him faster than if you were to just go out for dinner. That's it for now, as I don't want the video to run on too long, so check out part 2 for the rest of my tips on how to get a guy to like you. I'll talk about drama and what you can bring to the table. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.